أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد بن عبد الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الأرجاس وطهرهم من الأدناس وجعل مودتهم أجرا على الناس ولا سيما على بقية الله في الأرضين الإمام المنتظر صاحب الزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف هداة المهديين وعلى صحبهم الأخيار المنتجبين وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين والشهداء والمجاهدين في سبيل الله منذ آدم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، روي عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أنه قال السخاء خلق الله الأعظم. It has been reported from our Holy Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. السخاء, generosity, is Allah's greatest trait. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In our discussions so far, we have been speaking about firstly detaching my identity from what I am to what I have. Realizing that what I have is not me. And as we said yesterday, continuing from there, that once a person realizes that what I have is not truly me, I am beyond that, then giving something away or losing something becomes much easier for a person because they realize they have not become less. Actually, everything is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, including this body and the faculty of mind and all of this, and it will be taken by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What will continue on this journey is what I am. Everything I have, including my memory even, the grey matter, the cells which are here, will rot in the ground. What I am will continue into the hereafter. Once a person realizes that they are not what they have, then giving something away becomes very easy. Generosity. This trait that our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa describes in his hadith as Allah's greatest trait. We know all the traits of Allah, this being his greatest one. So we'll spend some time in the beginning few minutes talking about some of the benefits of this trait of generosity, then realizing what is generosity actually. Have I realized? I think it is giving charity to the poor, but it's something beyond that or deeper than that. So looking at some of the benefits, for example, just 2 or 3. 1, from our Mawla, our master, our first holy Imam, Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He says, as-sakha, this generosity, giving to others, yazra'ul mahabba. It cultivates or generates love between people. If you just imagine in the family relationship, husband and wife, they often have problems, misunderstandings, mother, children, father, siblings, brothers to one another. Maybe we have in our communities some brothers, because of something that may have happened, a business transaction or something, cousins in the family have not spoken to each other for months, if not years. Gifting something to one another. This one will receive a gift. They will return something maybe a few weeks later, a few months later. And this, can you imagine how much the love will be generated within that family only? And how much family problems will be distanced because of just giving one another out. It cultivates love, generosity. That's on a social level. 1. Again, another hadith from Sayyidul Awsiya alayhi salam, our first holy Imam, that he says, as-sakha, this generosity, يمحص الذنوب. Washes the sins away. Washes the sins away. I know you don't know how much sins I have, and we are all the judge for ourselves. That if a person knew how many sins or knew the darkness of my heart, would not come and say salam and we know what we have done in the past, but it is by the mercy of Allah that He has put this curtain of shame that we are not exposed to one another. Had our ugliness been exposed, so it washes away the sins. And again, from Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, that he says, غَطُّوا مَعَايِبَكُمْ. غَطُّوا means cover with a blanket or hide your shame, your faults. غَطُّوا مَعَايِبَكُمْ بِالسَّخَاء, with generosity. So one, it cultivates love. Two, it washes the sins away. Three, the ugly faults I have are hidden from others through this generosity. So غَطُّوا مَعَايِبَكُمْ بِالسَّخَاء فَإِنَّهُ سِتْرُ الْعُيُوبِ. Because this giving generosity is a covering or a hiding of evil things and shameful things. Further than this, from our holy Imam, 6th Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam. So already we have that one, generosity cultivates love. Two, generosity washes my sins. Three, generosity covers my faults and doesn't expose me. Four, Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam says, Shabun Sakhiyun, a youth who is generous. Murahhaqun fi dhunub, a young youth who is generous but immersed in sins. Immersed in sins. We know the youthful age is probably the age where sins come most easily, most accessible. A person is most lively in whatever sins they want to commit. So a youth who is immersed in that situation, but he is sakhi, he is generous. أحب إلى الله تعالى, is more beloved to Allah. Min shaykhin, shaykh, abidin, worshipping, bakhil, but he is miserly. He prays, he is pious, he does this, he is an old dignified man. No, that sinner youth is more beloved to Allah because he is generous and this one is not generous. One, it cultivates love in society. Two, it washes away my sins. Three, it covers my faults in front of other people. Four, it engenders the love of Allah. That even the one who is not generous is less beloved to Allah. The one who is more generous, even though he is sinful, is more beloved to Allah. We have the hadith from our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لا تخلقوا بأخلاق الله. With the akhlaq of Allah, make that akhlaq within yourself. Allah is Rahman, you should be merciful to others. Allah is this, you should be like that. Allah is the giver, Al-Razaq, you should always be like that. He says, As-sakha'u khuluqullah al-a'dam. Generosity is Allah's foremost, greatest trait. So this trait we should have. It makes us like Allah in that way. So one, cultivates love. Two, washes my sins. Three, hides my faults. Four, gets me the love of Allah. But more than this, do you know how many people have been saved because of the trait of generosity? When we hear historically in the history of Islam the trait generosity, one name comes to our mind straight away, synonymous with this trait, that of Hatim al-Ta'i. When you say Hatim al-Ta'i, we hear generosity. When we say generosity, his name comes. As if they are inseparable. That's how generous he was. But he had committed some sins. So the Prophet tells his son of Hatim al-Ta'i, tells his son, دُفِعَ عَنْ أَبِيكَ الْعَذَابُ الشَّدِيدِ. From your father, the great punishment has been repelled and distanced from him. Why? لِسَخَاءِ نَفْسِهِ. Because he was generous. He didn't face the punishment. We are believers in Ahlul Bayt. but we are sinners. Our generosity, one, cultivates love, washes sins, hides our faults, and gets the love of Allah, can save us from much punishment. Who knows the name Samiri? Who was Samiri? Yes, at the time of Musa alayhi salam, Musa, he was constantly making trouble with the people of Musa. And when Musa went to get those commandments from the mount, it was Samiri from behind who incited the people to build that golden calf, and they started worshipping the calf. Musa came back, as the Quran tells us. Musa was not a joke, huh? Isa alayhi salam had a very soft heart. Musa, remember, it was the man who hit one person, he fell down dead. Musa was not someone you mess with. And he came back from that mountain, and he sees what the people are doing. The Quran tells us, Musa came back, غَضْبَانَ أَسِفًا. He came enraged with, and he even held Harun by the beard. The Quran tells us, Harun tells Musa, "Oh, the son of my mother, don't hold me by my beard." And he makes excuses for what the people had done. Can you imagine what Samiri is going to face as punishment from this enraged Musa? Musa was going to kill him. He made the people, after splitting the sea and coming to the other side, splitting the sea. Then he made the people worship a calf, a statue. Musa was enraged. فَأَوْحَى اللَّهُ إِلَى مُوسَى. Allah revealed to Musa, لَا تَقْتُلِ السَّامِرِي. Do not kill this person. After everything, made the people worship the calf. Why? يَا مُوسَى لَا تَقْتُلِ السَّامِرِي فَإِنَّهُ سَخِيٌّ. Because he is generous. Banish him, let him go, kick him out, but don't kill him. Because he is generous. That trait of, yes, he was what he was, but he had that trait of generosity, saved him. So, we have mentioned the wonderful aspects and fruits of this trait of generosity. 1, that it cultivates love between people. 2, it washes away my sins. 3, it hides my faults in front of other people. 4, it gets me the love of Allah, that Allah loved that sinful youth more than the old man who is a worshipper because he is generous and he is not. And 5, now it saves people from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But have I understood what is generosity? I understand all of these good results of it, fruits of it, but what is generosity? If I re-mention that hadith from our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah is not looking at, not considering your physical form, وَلَكِنْ يَنْظُرُ إِلَىٰ قُلُوبِكُمْ, that He is looking at your hearts. So if I give £100, £50, £200, whatever amount of it, and put it in the charity box, this is a physical action. Does that in itself constitute generosity? If Allah is not looking at the physical, He's looking at the... So what is generosity then? Look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the generosity of the Ansar when the Prophet migrated to Medina, to the Ansar. Do we not have in the history they gave half of everything to the Muhajir who came towards them? So if they had wealth, half of the wealth they would give. They had slaves who they owned, half of them were for the... Because of the command of the Prophet. It said that the wives of those Ansar became afraid that if they had more than one wife, 2 wives or 4 wives, half of them they would say, this is your wife. This was how much they were just giving because the Prophet had said. But look at their generosity, how Allah, not about just giving, about a heart. So in Surah Al-Hashr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us this Ansar, يُحِبُّونَ مَنْ هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِمْ. They loved the one who migrated towards them, they loved him. وَلَا يَجِدُونَ فِي صُدُورِهِمْ حَاجَةً مِّمَّا أُوتُوا. Forget giving. Giving is easy to do physically. That's not generosity. In their hearts, they did not find the want of that thing which was given. So sometimes I give £100 in generosity. That's not generosity. If the person says, please can you have £100 for this, I say, okay, I give, and then it's difficult to release it from my hand because I want it. I feel that pinch in the heart that I'm giving it. This is not generosity. Generosity is a trait of the heart. The heart is giving. So these Ansar, لا يجدون في صدورهم حاجة. They did not find in their heart that want for this thing. ويؤثرون على أنفسهم ولو كان بهم خصاصة. One, يحبون من هاجر إليهم. They loved the one who migrated towards them. One, they loved the Prophet who came to them. Two, when they gave, they didn't feel that pinch for it in their hearts. Two, but more than that. Three, وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصًا. Even though they had a need for that thing, they still gave it. So one, it is not just giving. يُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. They preferred the other ones over themselves, even though they needed that thing. They didn't feel a pinch in the heart when giving it. One thing is, I have a surplus and I give. That's one thing. When I'm in need for it and I still give it, is something else. Further, when I'm in need of it and I give it and I don't feel in my heart that pull to get it back. So when we say generosity covers the sins and washes the sins, this is generosity, not the one where I put my spare change in the ground coins, 1 pence, 2 pence in there. That's not generosity. I don't need that. Actually, it's a relief for my wallet to get rid of that change. My trousers are falling down, it's too heavy. I'm giving it because of my own reasons. I don't need it. No, generosity is that, where I need it and I give it. One, I need it and I give it, and I don't feel that in my heart I have given. That is generosity, not when my yearly date for paying the khums comes and I find one way or the other way to somehow invest the money, something before it comes round or something, so I don't have to give. So fiqhi wise, I haven't. No, it is not. It is about the heart. That the love of Allah is controlling the heart, and the love of wealth is controlling my heart. You see, as the Maulana Sayyid had mentioned yesterday or the day before about wealth and giving, quite rightly, it is like water. It is like when you go to the mountains and there's a stream of water going to, when you lift in your hand, you can see the purity and clarity of it. Would you drink it? Straight away. It's fresh water from the mountains. If you go on the street and you see, or a lake, a small lake, with the puddle, would you lift it, you can see the green something, would you drink it? The water which stagnates there has been there for weeks, days, weeks, months, and there are now algae growing there or some creatures in there. It is polluted, the water which stays there. The water which is fresh and flowing is clean. Your wealth is the same. Stinginess is blocking it from one side from going. Stinginess is like constipation of the soul. It cannot go forward. That if that doesn't flow forward, it's stagnating there, becomes polluted and toxic. As the saying in Arabic goes, it's not a hadith, it's a saying in Arabic, أنفق ما في الجيب يأتيك ما في. What is in your pocket, spend it. What is in the ghaib will come to you. The one who fed you yesterday will feed you tomorrow. The one who guaranteed your rizq yesterday, and it is not you who put food on the table for your family. The one who fed me yesterday will feed me tomorrow. You spend from your pocket. أنفق ما في الجيب يأتيك ما في الغيب. What is in the ghaib will come to you. But if I stop it here, from there it will stop coming. It is constipation of the soul. Once a person cannot relieve themselves, they cannot eat, they will come back out of their mouths because there's no flow. It's stagnating, it's polluting. Further than that, if I give something in the way of Allah, look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about this in the Holy Quran, Surah Nahl, the chapter of the bee. مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدُ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. What is with you will deplete, will exhaust. Today you have health, tomorrow it is gone. Today you have wealth, tomorrow you spend it, it's exhausted. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, what is with Allah will remain. So I have wealth. If I keep it with me and spend it on myself, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds, I spend it for this and I have spent it for this and my food and my clothes and wealth is gone. If I leave it and deposit it with Allah, it will remain. Because Allah is keeping my account there. If I have it for me, it will do. وَمَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدُ, what you have will deplete. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ, what is with Allah remains. And illustrating this ayah from the Quran, we have one short anecdote from our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Once they were sacrificing a sheep and giving the meat in charity for the poor. أنهم ذبحوا شاة, they slaughtered the sheep and they were distributing. So the Prophet was with his wife Aisha. So he asked her, after this was being distributed, he asked her, Ma baqiya, from the sheep, the meat, what is left of it? So she replied, Ma baqiya minha illa katfuha. Nothing has remained except the shoulder piece has remained. Nothing has remained except the shoulder. فقال صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم بقي كلها غير كتفها. Actually, it has all remained except the shoulder piece. The shoulder piece is no longer. Why? Because the shoulder piece is with them, it has not been given. But the rest of it is with Allah, it is remaining. مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدُ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. What is with you will run out, will deplete, will exhaust. What is with Allah shall remain. He asked her, what is left of it? She said, nothing is left but the shoulder. He said, no, that means all of it is left except the shoulder is not left. Because what is with Allah shall remain. But he said that generosity. If we said, Inna Allah la yanzuru ila suwarikum walakin yanzuru ila qulubikum. Allah doesn't look at your physical form, but He's looking at your heart. If generosity is a trait of the heart, not a trait of the pocket only, that means the rich person can be generous because he has a heart. The poor person can be generous because he doesn't have money but he has a heart. The one who is penniless and has nothing can be generous because he or she has a... And generosity is a trait of the heart, not a trait of the mind. So how can this be? To give from the heart. Take a scenario. There is a young lady in her 20s, late 20s let's say, not married. She wanted to get married but she has not yet been able to get married. She is working long hours, as in our society these days. It is like that. Times are hard for people. She is working long hours and now the winter is setting in. She's walking home from work after a long day, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. It's very cold. She doesn't have a nice coat to keep her warm. Whatever she has, she's shivering in that. So her situation is not good. She has not a lot of money, not a lot of good clothes. She's walking and it starts raining now. So even more colder. She's shivering in that rain. She's walking home. She sees a car drive past and just splashes some water on her without noticing. They didn't know, not on purpose. The water comes on her. She becomes more cold. When she looks at the car, who is it? She notices it is her good friend in the car with her husband and her family in a nice car, nice warm car. They're eating something. She is hungry on the road. They're eating and they're enjoying themselves, smiling and laughing together with their family. The car goes past. Her situation in contrast, she is cold, hungry, doesn't have much good food, walking home, doesn't even have a car. She sees her friend, her good friend. She likes her friend, she loves her friend. In this wonderful situation, happy situation, driving past. She looks at that scene She looks up and raises her hands to Allah. Oh Allah, I thank you for showing me my friend in such a happy situation. Oh Allah, you give her more. Make her happier and give her more. Did she have any money to give this woman? No. What did she give? Her dua from her generosity. She could have said, oh Allah, why? Let some of that wealth that she has come to me. No. She gave with her heart. She gave her nothing else. She gave her dua, but she gave the dua from the heart. If we see generosity as a trait of the wealth and the hand, then that generosity reaches this far, as my hand can go. If, like this woman, her generosity was the generosity of the eye when she saw and she prayed, then that goes as far as the eye can see, not just as far as the hand can reach. And the generosity of the heart can go even to different countries where you don't see people. But your generosity can reach there even if we have nothing. If we have nothing to give from the pocket, we give from the heart. Because generosity is not a trait of the pocket or the hand. Generosity is a trait of the heart. So quickly to recap before we finish. 1. Generosity, khuluqullah al-a'zam. As-sakha, khuluqullah al-a'zam is Allah's greatest trait. 2. We mentioned all the benefits. 1. It cultivates love between people. 2. It washes away the sins. 3. It hides my faults. 4. It gets me the love of Allah, as Allah loves the youth who is generous but sinful more than the person who is old and worshipping but he is not generous. More than this, generosity saves people, like saved Hatim al-Ta'i from punishment, like saved Samiri despite what he had done. Number 5, generosity is a trait of the heart, but so I don't just give when I give and it hits the bottom of the tin, that's me being generous. No. Like the Ansar, when they gave, even though they needed it, and they didn't feel in their heart that I have given, I want it. No. That was generosity. Number 6, what I have today, tomorrow it's gone. What I deposit with Allah, that remains, like the shoulder of the sheep where the family of the Prophet were sacrificing. And lastly, generosity is a trait of the heart, means it goes beyond that of the hand, even for the one who cannot give something physically. The one who cannot give something physically, but because of his love for another is ready to give everything else. That there is a woman and a man of old age, elders, sitting down for dinner, and a knock comes to the door. The man goes to open the door. He opens the door. He receives the guest, whatever the person wanted. He comes back to the table. His wife asks him, Habib, who was at the door? So he says, nothing. He said, no, tell me who was at the door. What was it? So the person came with this letter. Who is it from? It is from Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. Straight away the wife of Habib sent salam to the family of the Prophet. What is he saying? Habib. He reads the letter that Habib, your Mawla, is stuck in Karbala. Now he could do with your help. But we are in this situation. You don't have anyone but me here in Kufa. I don't know, should I go? The wife of Habib begins to tremble. The son of Fatima is calling you and you're asking me, should I go? You stay here, I will go. Habib said, I was testing you, what your reaction will be, I will go. Habib, in that time, Kufa was under curfew. They were not allowed in and out. Habib sends his attendant, says, you go forward, meet me in this area, I will sneak out of the city, I will meet you there and we will go together. Because of the curfews and difficulty of getting there, Habib was a bit delayed. Habib ibn Madahir was slightly delayed. He was coming towards the horse, he sees from behind his servant is talking to the horse. Oh, horse of Habib. Don't you worry, you are worrying that whether you will get to serve Hussein or not serve Hussein, don't worry. If my master Habib gets trapped, I will take you and we will go to Karbala. Hearing this, Habib comes, ride the horse and they go together. There is a sunny day, hot day in Karbala. An imam is sorting the weapons. This weapon is for Aun, this is for Muhammad, this spear is for Abbas, this is for... All of the weapons are being distributed because they know what is to come in a few days. One sword and shield and spear is left on the side, not distributed. The children and the nephews of Imam ask, "Oh, our uncle, who is that one for? You have not distributed." Said, "Don't worry, my brother is coming." Habib comes. As soon as he comes, Imam receives him, and the children come running out of the tent. They know, "Our Uncle Habib, Zainab is sending you her salam. The daughter of Fatima is sending you her salam." When it came on that terrible day of Ashura, the time for Dhuhr came, Habib rides valiantly towards the enemy. "Oh, enemies of Islam, don't stop the battle. You want to kill us? You will kill us. Pause for a few minutes that we can pray." The enemies replied, "What? Do you think that may your prayers never be accepted?" Habib replies, "Your prayers will be accepted, and the grandson of the Prophet, his prayers not accepted." Wayhak, how dare you say such a thing? And the grandson of the Prophet, but your prayer will be accepted. They stand protecting the Imam, and the Imam prays. Immediately after Dhuhr prayer, Habib asks Imam's permission to go forward. Remember, this was a man, they say, around 90 years old. He would tighten the belt around his waist so he could be upright, otherwise his back was bent. And to strengthen himself, Habib rides. Habib was of Al-Asadi clan. He was not any joke. He fought so valiantly that, again, like all of these brave lions of our Imam, they had to surround this old man. One of them hit him on the thigh that Habib could not balance anymore and fell to the ground. When he fell, they all attacked him in a cowardly way. "Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah." Imam hears the cry of Habib and goes to the battlefield. And he tends, Habib tells him, "My Imam, I see your grandfather coming to take me." And the Habib breathes his last, he's marched in the way of Allah. For him and his companions, the day was finished. Now they are in the company of the Prophet. Habib, for that one who sent you salam from the tent, her Karbala is just beginning, Habib. Now you and Hur and all the companions will go and they will be in the heavens. They will remain and they will be tied and they will be paraded in the streets. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when he's the last one left, he's going to the battlefield and he is fighting. He is shouting around, "Aina anta ya Habib? We were supposed to fight together, me and you. Where are you sleeping now? You have left your Imam alone." ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. صلوات على محمد وآله.